29-year-old Namibian Saki Shikukutu, 29 years old. And coming with the WBO African welterweight title. It's the first time he's fought outside Africa. Is he going to be good enough to be able to mix it with an accomplished technician like Frankie Gavin? Remember Ali Nuambembe back in 2007? He was a Namibian and won the Commonwealth title, beating Kevin Anderson. Shikukutu will hope and believe that he can do the same. They call him the Snake.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Gavin!
Shikukutu, we know, was very, very tight indeed at the weight yesterday. Frankie Gavin now 28 years old. And if you're talking about sheer boxing ability, just maybe that this guy is top of the pile at the moment, so far as Britain's concerned. He is a real talent.
I think technically he's the best boxer in the country. I really do believe that. He might not have the power of some others, and maybe not the overall package, but technically he's as good as anything you can see. He really is.
Unbeaten in 18 fights as a pro. Unbeaten in his last 30 as an amateur as well. You've got to go back some way before you find where Frankie Gavin last lost a fight. Lost one to Mario Kindelan way, way back. And I think I'm right in saying he's not lost to a British opponent for something like 11 years now. It's an amazing record. He's had his difficulties. Remember that fight against Curtis Woodhouse? Didn't settle too well when he was up in Lancashire, didn't settle too well when he went back down to London. And now he's back with his old amateur trainer, Tom Cheney. And at his best, he can look sublime. I wonder if this is going to be one of those occasions.
Listen, I think he's been really good his last few fights. Though he hasn't put a foot wrong. And we can say what we like about the Curtis Woodhouse fight, but Woodhouse has just won the British title. So how good a win was that in hindsight?
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials appointed for this contest by the Commonwealth Council in association with the British Boxing Board of Control, the supervisor in charge, Mr. Fred Potter. The timekeeper is Mr. Stuart Lithgow, and the officials scoring this contest at ringside, Mr. Phil Edwards, Mr. Marcus McDonald, and Mr. Dave Paris. And the referee in charge of the action from Fleetwood, Mr. Steve Gray. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the Commonwealth Welterweight Championship. Between, in the red corner, wearing the silver trunks trimmed with black. He's from Windhoek in Namibia, weighed in at 10 stone 7 pound. The African welterweight champion with a record of from 21 contests, 18 wins, 12 by way of knockout, with 2 losses and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting, introducing Saki, the Snake, Shikukutu. And across the ring in the blue corner, his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, he weighed in at 10 stone 7 pound exactly. Fights out of Birmingham, undefeated as a professional, 18 perfect wins from 18 contests, 12 wins by way of knockout. He's the current reigning and defending Commonwealth champion, making the 4th defence of his title tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Birmingham's Frankie Gavin. Referee Mr. Steve Gray will now give you the instructions to the boxers.
Okay, boys, if a call break, you must take 1 step back. Don't let any of your punches go on the back of the head, and protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up, boys. Good luck.
12 3-minute rounds in the Commonwealth Welterweight Championship.
Second defence of the belt that Frankie Gavin won against Denton Vassell last June. And he says of Shikukutu, he's a decent puncher, tough tough and strong, like all Africans are. How much is seen of him, I'm not too sure. First time, as I say, that Saki's fought outside Africa. Had 3 fights last year, all of them wins, and the first round now underway. Gavin, southpaw, of course. As indeed is Shikukutu. Gavin's last fight was frustrating sort of exercise, wasn't it, against David Barnes? Barnes didn't really want to mix it with him, and I beg your pardon, the fight before last against David Barnes when he suffered the broken jaw. Since then, of course, fought Bradley Price. Price typically brave. And Gavin was just, I think, technically too smart for him.
Yeah, he was really sharp against Bradley Price, really was. And the David Barnes fight, you know, David Barnes, very slippery, awkward customer himself, and they cancel each other out.
Gavin just going cautiously in the opening stages, just having a look at what's in front of him.
I think, you know, you don't want to, against an unknown Shikukutu, you don't want to take any silly risks. You don't know what you're up against, so take a round or two just to see what the guy got to offer. You know, Frankie's good enough to take his time before he puts his foot on the pedal.
High up the rankings, Frankie Gavin. In the top 10 with the WBA, IBF and WBO. There is always the possibility somewhere down the line of a fight against one Mr. A. Khan as well.
The weight again is another weight, just with the wealth of talent in this country and abroad. So, you know, there's some big fights out there for him.
Well, it's arguably the best division right now, isn't it?
It's got to be, you know, well, it's got Floyd Mayweather for the start, that's enough, isn't it? But
Gavin says that he needs to step up. I wonder if the European champion, Leonard Bundu, might be an option, the Italian.
he's a good fighter, Bundu.
Very good.
And that we really see where Gavin's going to be going if he were to do a job on Bundu.
Well, he beat Lee Purdy handily, didn't he, back end of last year? And he's got, as well as being ranked by the IBF, I think Bundu's got a high WBC ranking, so if Frankie were able to get past him, he'd not only get the European title, but he'd be right up there.
Yeah, it'd be a big win. Obviously, you've got to get through Shikukutu first, which is a fight you've got at the moment. But that's a round for Gavin. It was a nothing round in many senses, but I think a round that you have to give to him.
It was almost a goalless draw, that opening round. There wasn't anything of real note landed, was there?
Well, just taking their time, looking. One day Gavin landed with a couple of good jabs, stepping in beyond the jab was a bit good, but he's just having a look at his opponent.
Come on, let's start getting up.
Tom Cheney, the trainer.
Taking 3 or 4 punches. You're tapping him into that body there. Come over the top.
Breathe.
Don't load up for it, Frank. Don't load up for it. No. It's too slow.
Being assisted by possibly the best, or one of the best nutritionists in the country, Kerry Kays. Long time worked alongside Ricky Hatton, helping the Hitman get down to the weight.
Yeah, come on.
And his boxing knowledge as well is pretty good.
Nice fella.
That's it, mate.
Bit of a delay. We had to wait while a few running repairs were done to the ring here, and I just wonder whether they would have been warmed up, the fighters that had been warmed up and ready to go, but they'd have been waiting, hanging around. Got to keep your concentration right.
I don't know about Shikukutu, but obviously Gavin's really experienced, isn't he? He's been traveling around the world. I don't think anything will phase him at all. I don't think it'll have any effect on, you know, are we prepared? Shikukutu there just landed with a glancing right hand. Gavin just committed himself, overextended with that backhand of his.
Tell you what, he looks in good shape, Shikakutu. Oh my goodness, does he look in good shape? Well, that is the shock.
Didn't look heavy, did just looked like he got caught turning. He was throwing a punch himself. Looked like he got caught square. He was turning to throw the punch.
Well, that's the first time he's been down as a pro, and for the life of me, I can't remember the last time he's ever been down as an amateur. But Gavin, in the second round now, has touched down. Fight on.
Yeah. Now he's getting old, hasn't he? I don't think he was really hurt. It was a genuine knockdown, I guess.
Well, it'll be interesting to see that one again. Another solid body shot from Shikakutu.
I think Gavin just got, when Gavin was throwing a punch, Gavin got caught square, I think, just a little bit flat-footed.
Well, he certainly needs to get on his game now. I didn't see the clear shot that landed, to be honest. It's going to be interesting to watch a replay. Referee was closest, of course, Steve Gray. Well, Gavin embarrassed as much as anything, I think.
Good body shot there from Gavin.
He's a bit of a handful, though, Shikakutu.
He just had some good body shots of his own.
He's quick, he's committed, and this is his big opportunity.
Oh, lovely shot there from Frankie Gavin. And again.
Well, Gavin doesn't appear to have been badly hurt or upset by that knockdown. Well, thought it might have been a cakewalk. Let's just see what's said.
Listen,
That was a good shot. Good shot, John, with the left hand.
Yeah.
You're jabbing and falling down here. Let's give you two
Right
body
through the
shots.
guard
Stick
there.
up here. Stick up to it, stand up to him, and crack him in. Three shots together, come on.
Big breaths, big breaths.
Come on, you catch him when you're from him first. Just waiting.
Well, there's a bit of shoulder, a little bit of shoulder went in there as well.
Yeah, but just before they got close there, he's already landed with the shot and just walked forward there.
One-handed. Crack him out.
Oh, it might have been on the shoulder, actually.
Well, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, Barry.
Hit him with it.
Gavin's protesting, that's for sure.
Gavin didn't like it. There's certainly a shoulder went in there.
Kevin got caught, he just got caught in, he looks like on the shoulder where they both turned at the same time to throw a punch. Gavin was caught squared and slightly off balance, so...
Either way, the judges have scored that 10-8 to Shikakutu, and so Gavin's behind. You reckon he got caught on the way in, do you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, the first replay looked like he got caught coming in. Nice little body shot there from Shikakutu.
Yeah, he's got fast hands, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
good variety of shots. He's got. You see the defensive skills of Gavin. He's going to need those, I think. Really targeting the body, Shikakutu.
Yeah, proving quite elusive, isn't he, Shikakutu? Gavin, so accurate, is struggling at the moment just to find the range. Oh, good left hand there, though, from Frankie Gavin.
Really whipping the hooks in, Shikakutu.
Well, every time Frankie throws a punch, Shikakutu throws back straight away, doesn't he?
I said earlier, he's clearly in great shape, and he's come over here prepared to throw his shots.
Oh, lovely there was just a feint for the jab and coming on with a wide hook. Good hook there from Shikakutu.
Another big body shot. That right hand really does land them with power.
Lovely movement off Gavin to get off the ropes. I don't think Gavin can give him too much ground. Good body shot there from Shikakutu.
He's a handful, Barry.
He is, he's tough, he's a tough kid.
He came over here something of an unknown, and he's shown in the early stages here that he is prepared and he's ready to take his chance.
And a good left hand there over the Gavin. And again with an uppercut, Shikakutu. Oh, lovely movement there from Gavin. Gavin can't give away too much ground. Shikakutu doesn't need too much encouragement, does he, to roll forward with the punches. And Gavin got to kind of keep him on the back foot with that jab.
Looking already as though this could turn out, if Gavin's going to win this, it could turn out to be a long and difficult night.
Yeah, nice little 1-2 there from Gavin and slip, and a nice little slipping counter.
Close round.
Yeah, I just edged Gavin. I think he started off fast. I think Shikakutu came on strong in the end, but I just like Gavin's work in the early stages of that round.
You're waiting too long. There's no need to wait. Yeah, well, make him more tired. Listen, crack them jabs in. Making hard work of this. You really are making hard work of it. Be first. You've got the speed. Listen, it's no good thinking of tipping and tapping. Let's get something going. Let's get a rhythm going. Don't think one big punch, yeah? Think three punches. Putting too much concentration into one single punch. You got to punish him on the back foot. You got to chop one in. When you're turning him, go straight back at him. You got to step it up. Yeah? You got to step it up.
Big body shot, that one from Shikakutu, and Gavin felt the weight of that.
Yeah, good shot. Look at that, good angle as well, isn't it? Not far off the solar plexus there, John. That would have really put Gavin in trouble.
He winced. So into the fourth round. Barry's got it level. Gavin, if you're just joining us, has been down in the second. Third round was close. All depends how the judges score it. Phil Edwards, Marcus McDonald, Dave Parris, the guys who are watching over this one.
Whichever way you see, he's up against got his hands full tonight, doesn't he, Gavin? He's up against a real tricky customer with an appetite for the fight.
Well, the way Shikakutu came on strong in the latter stages of that third round, I don't think it would have been a huge surprise if it had been given the other way.
Good accuracy there from Frankie Gavin.
Gavin, you could hear from Tom Cheney telling him he just needs to start letting his combinations go and doesn't want to be just tippy-tapping, needs to get in there and throw some proper shots.
And he does. The problem is, though, Shikakutu throws every time Gavin throws, as we see in there. He doesn't like to get hit. And once he gets caught, he throws back.
He looks physically a really strong guy, this man.
Good body shot there, though, from Gavin in close.
Needs more. He's got to discourage Shikakutu.
I think Gavin's given away too much ground. He usually does that little half a step back, and it works for him. It's not working so tonight, so I think he needs to throw the punches and turn and spin the opponent.
That's a good shot. Good shot from Gavin. Sorry, Barry. Lovely left hand.
So just a nice jab to the chest, wasn't it? And a right left hand over the top.
Gavin's preparations are certainly being tested out here because Shikakutu working the body.
Lovely work there, though, from Frank Gavin again. Double jab, left hand.
This fella doesn't want to take a backward step, though, does he?
I tell you, every time he gets hit, he throws. Oh, good hook there from Shikakutu. That's the punch for Gavin, that jab.
Good body shot again from the African. Lovely right hand. Fight's warming up nicely.
Yeah, competitive, isn't it?
Nice right hand from Gavin, beating his man to the shot. Best round of the fight so far for me, this.
Yeah, it is, yeah, really good. Good stuff, both willing to mix in the exchanges. Shikakutu throwing that right hook to the body, but Gavin, to be fair, keeping that left elbow tucked in nice and tight now.
Oh, good round.
Yeah, it was a good round. A round I gave to Gavin. I think his sharper work, his cleaner work was enough for me. But he's not having it all his own way, John.
And he's breathing heavily as well, Shikakutu, in the corner while you're watching these replays from that last round. That's that lovely left hand.
Yeah, and just before that, there was a nice little 1-2 as well. There we go, lovely shot. Lovely left hand there, but Shikakutu took it well. And as soon as he got hit, what did he do? He come back with his own little right hook.
The fact that he was so tight on the scales yesterday, Shikakutu, taking more than a couple of pounds off to make the weight on the final day. Further it goes, you just wonder about his stamina. Third round there, that was the one for me, which I think could have gone the other way.
Yeah, close fight.
Well, he said, hasn't he, in the run-up to this, that he needs to step up, wants to step up, and wants to be tested. Well, he's not stepping up here, I don't suppose, but he's in against a somewhat unknown opponent who's proving that Gavin's going to have to be at his best.
Well, these are the sort of fights that help his development, isn't it? The fights where you don't get everything your own way. No, we marvel at his skill, we marvel how technically brilliant he is. The right hand there from Shikakutu, but he needs the fights where things don't go his way, things don't always work. And he's getting it tonight.
Shikakutu looking to wind up every time he gets into range with big hooks aimed towards the body.
That's the right tactics from Shikakutu there, isn't it? Just keep throwing those long punches, keep pushing Gavin back.
Gavin, of course, has had a lot of experience fighting southpaws over the years. Sometimes when you get two southpaws together, it's not a great thing to watch, but this has been a pleasing contest to the eye so far.
And clean, isn't it? No one looking to hold. Both looking to do work. Shikakutu really is. He really just... Every time Gavin throws a punch, he throws straight away. And still, those little punches there, that for me, you know, nicking Gavin the round, just how clean they work. And it's a close round, they're the things I remember.
On round the back of the head, and Gavin rightly being told off.
Oh, Gavin should have let that left hand go then. Set it up lovely, took a half a step back. Just didn't let it pull the trigger.
Good footwork from Gavin, staying away from danger.
And with Shikakutu, no, waiting for Gavin to throw and throw in as soon as Gavin lands, Gavin needs to throw in 3s and 4s. With the counter puncher, you've got to throw in combination, you've got to spin the opponent.
Shikakutu does look physically a very strong fella, doesn't he?
His back's massive, isn't it, for a welterweight?
Oh, good shot, good body shot from Shikakutu. No reaction at all, of course, from the home crowd when the African does land scoring shots. 5 rounds completed. Another one to Gavin?
Yeah, but not much happened in that round, to be honest, and it was pretty close, but I think just a slightly cleaner work was Gavin. I think both of them taking a look at each other.
As Bradley Saunders warming up behind the scenes. Sold 1,200 tickets, I'm told, for this event. So he'll get a big reception when he turns up. Bradley, who lives in Sedgefield, County Durham. and is looking a very, very bright prospect indeed. 28 years old and moving through the ranks. Up tonight against Mitch Prince, a Scotsman, South African born. Looks ready to go now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks wired, doesn't he?
Here we've got Frankie Gavin defending his Commonwealth welterweight title against Saki Shikukutu of Namibia. And it's a close fight. Gavin down in the second round. Barry saw a punch. I certainly saw a shoulder. Whatever it was, he was down. The referee counted. And he was left a real problem, having to come from behind. And not said that too many times in Gavin fights.
And even the rounds that he's winning, he's not winning by much. Shikukutu causing all sorts of problems, not just with his name, but with his skill in the ring.
I think you coped wonderfully so far. There's an element of the Welsh about it, isn't there? Gavin, a study in concentration in there.
Struggling with the range so far in this round, Gavin, for me. That's better. That's better.
They want to see him let some combinations go, and that's a lovely jab from Gavin. Great footwork as well as he worked off the ropes.
Because he spins so well, I think he can throw a combination and stay close when he turns the opponent, when he spins off. I think the fact that he's giving ground usually works for him with his counter-punching skills, just not working for him tonight. That's lovely work. No weight behind the shots, but they're accurate. He's scoring, he's not getting hit.
Nice little body shot in there from Gavin, right hand. Good footwork again, keeping him away from that swinging left hand from Shikukutu. That's another nice quality little sneak left hand from Gavin. Oh, lovely shot again from Gavin.
Shikukutu walked through it to his credit, but it was a well-timed shot from Gavin.
He's made him look a little bit ragged in this round, hasn't he?
Yeah, the footwork, the spinning, the movement, the angles have been great.
Gavin slow to settle as the dangerous body shot from Shikukutu. He was slow to settle into the fight, and you heard after he'd been knocked down in the second round. Let's see you working in a rhythm. Let's see you letting your punches go, not just singly, but in bunches. Good round for Gavin.
Yeah, this is Gavin's best
Clear round, clear round.
That's probably the first clear round that he's won, without a shadow of a doubt.
What's in your mind? What's in your mind, mate? You can throw loads more of these fucking knackeries. You're throwing him around like a ragdoll. Do whatever you want with him. Come on, a bit more spirit into your work. Get a flow going, understand what you're doing more, yeah? Some thought, come on, that was a lot better round that one, yeah? Come on, pick it up again, come on. Right, honestly, God, you keep peppering that jab, 2s and 3s, pop, 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 pop. All you're not doing is punishing with the counter, yeah?
Tom Cheney picking up what we did, Barry, that Shikukutu looks as though he's running out of gas a bit.
Yeah, well, to be fair to Shikukutu, he started fast, didn't he? And he's tried to keep up with Gavin, tried to match him punch for punch, and been quite successful at it as well. But obviously, you know, struggling at the weight. It looks like he's puffing a little bit.
A little bit of bruising around both eyes for Shikukutu. Moving into the second half of the fight. And he looked earlier on as though he was very capable of springing what would have amounted to an absolutely huge upset here. But Gavin's boxing skills are now serving him well.
fast hands there. Well, more timing than speed there, wasn't it, from Gavin?
Chikukutu's just not throwing the punches that he was earlier on.
Yeah, that's where he's not. Every time Gavin throws, he was throwing with him, but now he's not.
He stopped throwing those big energy-sapping hooks, Chikukutu.
Oh, lovely there from Gavin, wasn't it, again?
Prospering on the jab.
Chikukutu can't throw that single punch, you got to throw in combinations himself.
Well, if he's feeling the pace, this is when it will tell.
But in the earlier rounds, when he was having a lot of success and pushing Gavin close, it was when every time Gavin moved back, he moved forward. And then when Gavin threw, he threw his punches in ones and twos and threes. So sort of stopped doing that in this round and the last round. And that will suit Gavin down to the ground.
Jabbing beautifully now, Gavin. Chikukutu barely landed a scoring punch in this round so far.
Oh, good left hand for Gavin. This is more like the fight that we're used to seeing Gavin fight, isn't it? Like landing at will and making the guy miss, not taking any risks. Yeah, but up until round 5, he was having all sorts of trouble. And every round was close, John.
Yeah,
every
round. Close fight early stages, very much so. There'll be somebody out there somewhere who'll know the last time Frankie Gavin got put down. I'm sure Frankie himself will know. That'll be a question afterwards.
Maybe never.
Well, I've certainly never seen it. Another good round for Gavin.
Yeah, another clear round there for Gavin.
And he's boxing his way into what would be now a fairly clear lead, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think my card don't do Chikukutu any justice, to be fair. I just think some of those rounds we could have given to him. I just fancy Gavin with that. They were close rounds, could have gone either way. I favour Gavin's work, but it doesn't reflect his effort in the first 5 rounds.
Well, you've only given him the second, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think you could have given him the third, which would mean a couple of points in it, wouldn't it? But even so, Gavin now well clear.
Yeah, the last 2 rounds he's walked at ease, hasn't he? The 6th and the 7th round would be the most conclusive round so far for Gavin. Every round before that was a close one.
Come on, pop that jab in, yeah. Just on a couple of jabs, fam. Bam, bam, bam.
So into the 8th round, Frankie Gavin, who's been sparring for this one with Tom Stalker. Good southpaw, of course.
Oh, lovely shot there from Gavin. He has got fast hand, but it's the timing.
That he clearly was starting to blow as soon as the 5th round. I think that's been a big factor. Gavin, sort of a purist's fighter, isn't he? He's an aficionado's fighter.
Oh, he's great to watch, I think. You know, when he's like this, you know, when he's just picking the guy off at will. You know, you could ask for more commitment, you know, trying to get the guy out of there. But he picks him apart, he's breaking his kid's heart again. But for the first 5 rounds, he was having all sorts of problems, that's for sure. But no, I think he got the measure now of Chikukutu, who's just slowed down a little bit more flat-footed.
Can't mess him with the jab now.
But you can't have a standoff, can you, with Warren? You can't have a, you You can't have a who got the fastest hands competition. You're going to come second best, as you see there again. Good hook there though from Shikakutu.
First one for a long time.
Yeah, he needs to just work on that. He needs to keep throwing it, just letting his arms go.
A lot of the time he's just been punching thin air in the last 3 or 4 rounds. When you're missing, drains.
Oh, it kills you. It kills you. And mentally it kills you as well. It really is difficult. Because when you miss, especially when you get countered, you're almost afraid to throw another punch, just in case you miss again. Plays tricks with your mind.
Well, he's landed that one left hook in this round, Shikakutu. Apart from that, there's been precious little.
But this is more like a Gavin fight we're used to, isn't it?
And he's starting to work the African's body now a bit.
Oh, lovely.
Good boxing skills from Frankie Gavin here, and clearly winning this 8th round.
Yeah, the last 3 rounds though, Gavin has won by a street.
When you're a lot more positive, you've got to stand up taller. Stand up taller, sit up to, you're stepping over your front foot, leaning over your front foot, you're shortening the space down yourself, you're bigger than him, sit up proud and keep popping that jab. It's him long. Whip this, that left hand there and then get into the body. And if you start body, finish head. Let's put a nice combination there, 3 foot. You can lock that better now. Come on, baby, when you're in there. Crack, crack, crack. Just get busier, you'll feel a lot better in yourself when you're getting busier. There's no need to tap him to the body. There. Keep tapping him long on the top of the head. Fine. You've got a lovely 2-punch counter off there. Let's have another one. Another 2-punch counter there. You've got lovely, yeah.
So the 9th round of a fight that Frankie Gavin was making heavy weather of in the early stages, but now seems to have taken control. I wonder how much Shikakutu has got left in the tank.
But he hasn't hurt Shikakutu, is he? He hasn't really hurt him. He doesn't look like in any sort of trouble. But his work rate has dropped dramatically.
Again, Shikakutu just unable to land anything clean.
Yeah, and when Gavin was stepping back in the early rounds, you know, Shikakutu was right on him and he wasn't working for Gavin. Now it's working for him now, isn't it? A little half a step back, he'll get himself out the trouble and then be able to land the counters.
Whether it's been tagged a couple of times and it's a psychological thing, or whether it's a stamina issue.
Yeah, I think he's tired. No, he's not blowing tremendously. I think he's a little bit tired.
Lovely straight right-hand lead again from Gavin, stopping Shikakutu in his tracks.
Yeah, fair to Shikakutu there, trying to let go with the body shots. Shikakutu, a good jab there from Shikakutu, landing some more shots his last 30 seconds or so.
Still don't think he's winning the round, Barry.
No, there's no weight on the punches, but at least he's hitting the target.
Well, that's a slip, no knockdown. Another one we'll be able to watch. He's caught there, though.
Yeah.
Caught by a right hand.
And that's what Shikakutu needs to do, isn't it? Pour the punches on, just keep throwing him in combinations.
Well, suddenly Shikakutu takes heart a little bit.
Good jab there for Gavin. Good
Body shot,
yeah.
lovely shot.
Everything about that, wasn't it? Dipping the shoulder, turning from the waist.
And then when Shikakutu tried to counter with a big swinging left hook, Gavin saw it coming from way off and was able to just get underneath it and no contact made. Well, let's have a look again. Let's have a look. Watch the feet. Ah, there you go.
Yeah, the referee saw that as well, to be fair. If the referee wouldn't have saw that, he would have ruled that a knockdown, possibly.
Another round for Gavin, you scored that.
Can't keep him off the floor tonight, can we, Frankie Gavin? He's running away with this now, John.
Yeah, he's got a big lead now.
Come on, just too cautious.
So just 3 rounds remaining. Seems a long time since Gavin was on the canvas legitimately. Shikakutu needs to find a big attack. Anthony Farnell watching with interest at ringside on the far side of the ring. Former trainer of Gavin's. And shouting out his instructions.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? No animosity.
Well, sometimes things don't work out. You move on.
Nice little right hand there from Shikakutu. Be more ambitious in this round.
That was a camera shot, though, which just showed beautifully the way in which Gavin has such great footwork and able to use the ropes to get away out of danger.
Oh, he's got that 180 spin down to a T, hasn't he? Really turns the opponent. Oh, good shot.
It's all Gavin now.
Even though Shikakutu didn't land with anything, that's what he needs to do, though. He needs to keep pushing Gavin back with punches. Trying to land with shots there, though, but Gavin being so elusive. Tremendous head movement.
Shikakutu must be feeling massively frustrated in there because early on he must have thought this was going to be his night.
Yeah, of course. Well, he jumped right on Gavin, didn't he, from the offset?
Oh, lovely left hand from Gavin. Nicely timed as well.
Yeah, I don't think Shikakutu was hurt. He was out, I think he hit him off balance a little bit. A really accurate shot from Gavin. Good body shot there as well. Frankie Gavin. Shikakutu, though, still bravely coming forward, trying to let his hands go.
But not really getting anything of note home. And another one safely in the bag for Frankie Gavin.
Yeah, from round 6 onward, it's been all Gavin, hasn't it? There's been clear rounds for Frankie Gavin.
6 minutes to go now, and he's still going to be the Commonwealth title holder, assuming the judges are scoring it the same way that we are.
To be honest, John, I don't think there's any argument to have from 6 rounds onwards.
No.
The first 5 rounds, it could have been, the fight could have been different. We could have had Shikakutu up possibly, but 6 rounds on, it's been all Gavin.
Come on, that's it. Get a smile back on your face and come on.
He's happy and relaxed now.
Come on. Let's get this smile back on your face and start getting out. Crack.
Well, they're not happy enough, according to Tom Cheney. Let's see the smile back on your face. Just 2 rounds to go. Gavin in the second defence of the Commonwealth welterweight title. Gavin just waiting for Shikakutu to commit himself and trying to land the stinging counters. A little bit of showboating now from Gavin. I think he's enjoying himself in there now, going through the gears and creating some lovely angles.
Yeah, he feels more comfortable. Just because Shikakutu is just slowed down enough for Gavin to take control, and it was his sort of fight. He's enjoying himself now, just dissecting Shikakutu with those sharp punches.
Bullies Shikakutu back, and the referee says no.
Yeah, nothing wrong
I think
with
a few
that.
people had to let it go on there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Grown into welterweight, Frankie Gavin. It seems so long ago that people are saying, he's really a light welterweight. Of course, as an amateur, he was a lightweight.
To be honest, he was a light welterweight when he first came up to welterweight. Now he's grown into the weight, but he was.
Looks the part physically now, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not cut, Adonis or anything, but yeah, he looks big. He's fit. He does the rounds well. He's strong. He maybe doesn't have that KO punch that everyone craves for, but he got everything else.
Well, he's never going to have that, is he? He's going to have to rely on boxing if he's going to get right to the very top.
Yeah, maybe it's sometimes to do with committing yourself. I think he can stop more people. But you think he's so clever, you think not overthink things sometimes and not have that killer instinct.
I think this has been impressive tonight because there must have been real fears early on when he was looking at Shikakutu and thinking, oh my goodness, what have I got into here?
Yeah, this is the sort of fight you wanted, wasn't it? Maybe not guy. You think of this guy at this level, Gavin will wipe the floor with him, but he needs to have a sort of a mini crisis in his career. And the first 5 rounds were not quite that, but they were a struggle. But it hasn't been ever since.
Another Gavin round, and he's surely a long way in front now.
Keep peppering him with the jab, Fran. Keep peppering with the jab. Stick. That's right.
Bradley Saunders next to go against Mitch Prince.
Nothing silly.
And the world title fight still to come. Stewie Hall against Martin Ward.
Throwing 2s and 3s. Think of the free. Yes. Listen, stop fucking about. Yeah. Both hands. Yeah. Nothing silly. Nothing silly. Yeah. You've got to stop him in the track. Don't let him take around the ring. Don't let him.
So last round coming up. And barring something unexpected, moment of brilliance from Shikakutu and a moment of huge lapse from Frankie Gavin, can't really see that Shikakutu is going to take this now. Nice display of sportsmanship.
You'd sort of like Shikakutu now to really go for it, wouldn't you? Really try and put some pressure on Gavin, make Gavin dig his heels in as well.
Frankie Gavin in the second half of this fight has very much been able to make it his sort of
Yeah,
contest.
listen, we're judging this kid at the highest levels. That's what it is. Should he have got the guy out there? Maybe he should have. Maybe the guy's good. Shikakutu is looked to be good to me, and he's tough. where we think Gavin's going. Maybe Gavin should have got him out there. Maybe that killer instinct's not quite there yet. But you know, he's won the last 6 rounds almost with ease.
Well, he's eventually won it very handily, assuming he's going to get the verdict, and can't for the life of me see he's not going to.
And having things not his own way in the first few, like 3 or 4 rounds, is a good lesson that he'll learn from that. It's something that not everything you got to adapt, and he has. A little counter hook there from Gavin. Shika Kutu, to his credit, he's trying to come forward, he's trying to throw punches. Good jab. I'll tell you one thing though, this Shika Kutu, he'll beat some fighters. He'll beat some decent fighters, he will.
Well, he's been fighting at home and doing okay. Fighting chiefly in Namibia, the odd fight in South Africa. This is his first fight abroad.
Oh, lovely. Really good from Gavin.
And in the early stages of this fight, it was starting to look as though he was a member of what old Mickey Duff used to call the Who Needs Him Society.
Yeah, for sure. Gavin can see everything coming though, can he?
He's trying hard, Shika Kutu.
He is, but the speed of his punches are not the same. The energy in his work's not as great as it was. And that's the thing about Gavin. He always makes you fight at his pace. That's why he's always comfortable. That's why he can always finish strong. It's been a good fight for Gavin. He's boxed well. He walked the fight in the last second half of the fight. The first half he had to overcome a few little difficulties, and all in all a pretty good performance.
Shika Kutu knows the story as he goes back a little bit sadly to his corner. And Frankie Gavin, he'll know that he's won that one. He's shaking his head a little bit as though, in his opinion, he wasn't right at his best. You see him leaning through the ropes, having a word with Bunsey and Steve. Well, we'll be able to hear from him in just a moment or two, but he's got a wide points win, Barry.
Yeah, he has. You know, it looked like it was going to be a real hard tussle for him after the first half of the fight. For sure, it was close. Some of those rounds I gave to Gavin, he could have easily give to Shika Kutu, but from that 6th round on, he walked the fight, and then that shows his class. I think, you know, I think this kid's destined for the top. Good it's a little bump on the way, that first half of the fight, something he'll learn a lot from.
Well, it was a classy display. He's chatting to a few of his fans and friends who are at ringside. Always a very harsh critic of his own work, Frankie. But the bottom line is that the winning run continues. He's going to get the verdict. It's going to be 19 out of 19, and he's going to retain the title.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt in the winner. He's a winner. He boxed well. So you got this. The kid got beautiful skills. He's going places. He's going further. He's going beyond the level he's at the moment.
So where now? I wonder if he's ready for Leonard Bundu. Frankie Gavin, though, is now going to be confirmed as the champion, and here's Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards at the end of 12 rounds, where we have a unanimous decision. Phil Edwards scores the contest 118-109. Marcus McDonald 117-111. Dave Parris 118-109. All three in favour of the winner, and still welterweight champion of the Commonwealth, Frankie Gavin.
Big margins. Two of the judges just giving Shika Kutu the 1 round. Marcus McDonald giving him a couple. Frankie Gavin still the champion, and rightly so.
Yes, still the champion, but he's got that long face, which suggests to me, Paul, he is self-critical, as John mentioned. He's going to be unhappy with the performance.
He is, but I'm sure when he gets back home and he'll watch that back, he'll see that it was a good performance. I thought his range and his head movement was spot on today.
it seemed to me, Steve, there were moments there when he almost struggled, Frankie, to get together with someone that was as awkward, slippery and southpaw as him.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's never happy, Frankie. He's never, no matter
never.
how he does, he's never happy with his result. I don't know, I just think he's too perfect in what he does. He's pernickety about every single shot. If he doesn't think he can get it in, he won't throw it.
Yeah.
So every shot he likes to get in perfectly, 100%.
You had that a couple of times last year when you went 12 rounds and you ended up with a long face. You gave a masterful boxing display and you ended up with a long face.
I do. I think it's because people expect more of you and you want to put on a better show. But Frankie will definitely watch that back, and I'm sure he'll say tomorrow it was a good performance.
Because at the end of the day, 12 hard rounds against a very loose, very strong African who was throwing unorthodox punches. When he got dropped, I'm using that in quotes, we've looked at it again, it looks like a shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, he does what he does best. He hits and doesn't get hit.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Frank. And if he does get hit a couple of times, he's not happy. I was the same. I used to get hit a lot more than what he did, but if I got hit a few more times than I should have done, I wasn't happy at all.
I mean, listen, we'll talk again about that. We want to hear what Frankie's got to say. He's with Alex and Francis Warren.
Yeah, Frankie's with me now. Well done. It was comfortable in the end, certainly from round 6. A bit tricky in the opening stages.
Yeah, trickier than I thought. I thought it's just going to be a tough African, come forward, tight guard, and he's just different, a bit tricky. He never put me down. Well, I didn't think he did anyway. I didn't feel nothing. I thought he was asleep. But the judges' scorecard show wasn't easy enough. But obviously, there's a lot more to come, and I'm going to have to improve.
Is that the first time you've ever been down?
Yeah. But I don't know whether it was a knockdown or not. It didn't hurt me at all or nothing. But at the end of the day, fair play to me. He turned up, took me the distance. A learning curve. These are the fights I need. I think I need another fight like this. A tough, maybe European, Eastern European, and then go on to something big.
Francis Warren here as well. Has he been made mandatory for Leonard Bunder's European crown? And if so, what's the next sort of move?
Yes. We'll be trying to make that fight. I think Frankie's asked for that fight a few times. He had to come through tonight though, and especially after going over. Although I did think he was a slip as well. Knowing Frankie, he could have gone one or two ways tonight. Sort of gone into his shell, but he's got that. He's got that personality on him now that he got on with the job, did it very well. He was a tricky guy. He had something thereabouts with him, but I thought Frankie looked good tonight. So we'll be trying to make the European fight for him. But there's plenty of options for him.
Listen, well done tonight.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Take it easy.
Look at you.
Yeah, Frankie Gavin will pick himself up. As Paul Butler said, he'll go back, he'll look at it, and he'll wonder what he's doing with that big, long face. It was 12 rounds. He's heading to Bundu. He's heading up the rankings. Bradley Saunders is heading towards the ring, but right now, we're heading to a commercial.